Jen, you are the star of English teacher in my mind.
Oh my,
Um, I'll tell you, when I saw that episode, I said she stands out, but they did foreshadow that you were coming because they talked about you before you got there. But how did you know that you were going to be in this? Was it just an audition for a part, or did they say, this could be much, much more than that?
it was just an audition. I got the audition and I made the tape. And when I saw on the script it said Brian Jordan Alvarez, I was really stoked because I had been such a fan of his and Stephanie's. I'd been watching their stuff on YouTube forever. And I was so stoked that he had a show. And so when I got the audition, I was just really excited to make a tape. And then I Zoomed with Brian and Jonathan Cressell, the director, and then I got it, and I was lucky and excited.
So what did they say Linda was? Did they explain her to you, or did they just say let's create her?
Well, she was pretty much on the page. They said um, she's Southern, powerful, um, sort of like my Meemaw would say butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. Like she has a coldness, but she also presents in a way that is very congenial. Like, we know the type.
She was a pageant girl. I can bet you any money she was a pageant girl,
100%. Oh, you got her pegged.
right?
Yeah.
When you saw the script, then did you say, "Oh, I know all this. I can tap into everything that she is," or was it a surprise?
Um, well, when I had the audition sides, I thought they were so funny. It was the hunting scene and the restaurant scene. And I just loved the way she had like a faux intimacy with people that she just met, which is very familiar to me because I'm from the South. And I thought, oh, I know this woman. And then I got the full script and I was so excited. Yeah, there were surprising parts to me. I didn't know she called an entire town hall. I didn't know she was like really going after him in that way. And that just became, I was like trepidatious. I was nervous to like do the auditorium scene, but it was so collaborative and fun and I loved it.
Is she what we would call a Karen, or is that undercutting her?
I think she's even more than a Karen. I think she is possibly a Barbara, which is the next level.
Barbara is next level. Okay, good to know. And then Linda comes after that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, did they say there's a possibility she can come back?
I mean, I wish it to be true. And if they don't get a second season, there's no justice in the world. Like it is such a great show. So I would be thrilled.
I see. I think she needs to be on the school board.
Okay, your lips to God's ears. We're just
I
gonna
mean,
send
doesn't
it
that
up.
make it makes perfect sense? It gets her in the mix of things, and it gives him that antagonist he needs to keep things going.
Yeah, I agree. I strongly agree, and I think we should write a letter.
Uh, Here we are. We are here. What does this say though about our school system today, where a parent can derail things?
Gosh, I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't know, but I do know that like power presents itself in any arena, whether it's a school or a town council, a union. Like there's always going to be people that have sort of an outsized sense of themselves and of authority that they know what's right in this
Sure.
situation, that they'll kind of do whatever it takes to make sure that their policies are implemented. Yeah.
And they're charismatic because they do have followers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that Linda, you got to do a lot of glad handing when you are running a restaurant and are kind of like the queen of the town, I think it comes at a personal cost to her. Like it's hard to sort of put on that mask all the time. I think that's why, like in the last scene, she's sort of dressed, not dressed down, but it's sort of loosened in a
Sure.
way. And so it costs her something, but it's worth it. It's worth it to her to have power.
The double Sprite and steak nuggets. What a great concept, right?
I mean, I loved saying that line maybe more than any line I've ever said in my life. And I've done Tom Stopper. But to just be like, I invented him, like to have that much pride. And like, it bowled me over every time I said it. Also, to watch Stephanie eat so many steak nuggets while we were filming it was really,
Oh,
she went the extra mile.
there is such a thing as a steak nugget?
Honey, props made them
How'd they taste?
delicious.
I mean, to heck with a TV show. Let's be marketing this stuff, right?
Let's do it. This is the merch.
I I'm there for you. In your career, I know I'm maybe overselling this, but I do think that this is one of the best parts you've ever had. Do
Oh,
you
wow.
see it as that or not? Is it just another part?
Look, I think Linda is a stunning part to play. Like, she is so layered to me. She turns on a dime. It's like what every actor who wants to flex muscles really wants to do. You get to play all these different sides. She's like a dice. And so that's very exciting to me. Um, yeah, I think she is. She's definitely one of my favorites, but like, I've also played Billy Dawn in Born Yesterday. Like, I've gotten to do these sort of incredible Crimes of the Heart by Beth Henley. Like, I've gotten to play a lot of complicated, boldly drawn women, and I'm so grateful for that. But Linda's really, she's probably top three.
Yeah, I would say so because those characters, the quirkiness of them, is what draws you into them. She is recognizable. Uh, Linda is in a community that we all know. And so that's why I think you've been able to tap into something that we don't see that often because it is a mirror. It is a mirror to the communities that we have out there. So who knows? Yeah, you had a long theater career.
Yeah.
And why did you decide I want to do TV and movies? Why is that?
Well, I wanted to be able to pay rent. You know, it's
I
like,
want steak nuggets. Okay.
I want steak nuggets. I want double Sprite. I love the theater so much. I mean, it's my first love, and I think it's unlike any other art form. I think it is our last vestige of like non-exclusive ritual in a way. But I really, I live in New York City, and I wanted to be able to, make enough money to, pay the rent. I also kind of wanted to explore this new medium and see what it was like because I had never done it. And it's a whole nother animal. I think when people are like, oh, it's the same, I just think that is the wrongest answer. To me, it's absolute. It's fun. It's apples and oranges.
Laura Benanti, I don't know if you know her, but she said when she came out to, you know how you go out to audition and get on
Oh
shows
yeah.
and all that. She said that she was afraid that she would be too broad
Oh
because
yeah.
everybody, oh, you theater actors are so broad and you're out there and tone it down. And she said she became so kind of stiff that she saw no personality whatsoever. And she said it was like terrible because I was just shocked. Was it hard
Dude.
to make that
Yeah.
transition?
It was
Yeah.
hard because I don't just play it to the balcony. I play it to the check cashing place across the street. And so it was really a new muscle for me. And, you know, I think I did a similar thing because in my first forays into it, like directors would be like, you're yelling. And I'd be like, am I yelling or is everyone whispering?
Good way.
But I did. I had to I had to tone it down. And yeah, I think that, and I sort of like, I would go in for these gritty procedurals and I'd be so afraid to do too much with my face
Right.
that I'd
Don't
be like,
blink.
yeah, I would just be like, we got to get the perp out of the precinct before he kills him again.
Right.
Like yeah. And then you learn how to kind of blend, I guess.
Well, then when you see what they were offering you, the kind of roles you could get, did that
Yeah.
surprise you? Did you go, oh, I didn't see myself in that
You know,
kind of
it's weird because like I did a lot of period pieces in the theater, like I'd be an 1890s aristocrat, I would be a 1930s mob mall. And then when I started doing film and TV, it was very like um trashy sort of newly sober moms on the verge, and I was like, huh, like that's okay. And my dad really wants me to play lawyers, doctors, stuff like that. But
Right.
like, they kind of don't want a platinum blonde doctor. You know what I mean? It's like I got typecast in a way that yeah, was very different than the theater.
So, and your father's a minister, right?
Yes, he is.
So what did he think about this career? Was there a point when he goes, no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to do that.
They have been so supportive, but kind of like this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because I tend to play characters who um will maybe not button their shirts all the way up, or like sort of sex might be the first tool in their toolbox that they use. Um Again, my parents are like, I'm really ready for you to play Margaret Thatcher. And you're just like, I'm just not drawn that way, but it's
From our
fine.
channel, please. Right?
I know, but they're so supportive. I remember my mom coming to see a play where like the character said "God damn it" or something, and when she came backstage, she was like, "Now, Jennifer, I just think you could talk to the playwright and just ask him to change it,
You did for you.
just
Right.
for me." And I was like, "Well, Mom, it's the character. It's not me saying it." And she was like, "I know, but it's real hard." They're very sweet.
Thank God they didn't see you in hair, right?
Oh, Calcutta.
Oh, Calcutta. Let's just go for it, right? Well,
Yeah.
but were they supportive that you should go into the theater, or did they say, "Hmm,
Well, they didn't really have a choice. God bless them. Like, I was in all the church plays growing up, and it's what I wanted to do. And it's just kind of what I was always doing. So, there's been a lot of times in my career, like in lean times, working in an ice cream shop or whatever, that they were like, why don't you come on home and be a youth choir director? And that's the salary. And, but I just kept plugging away, and I think they feel better about it now.
when was there some project that they said, okay, she's made it, she is an actress?
I wonder. I mean, I really cut my teeth in the regions. So I was in Seattle, I was in California, I was doing all these regional theater productions, and they really loved coming to see those plays. And I think that made them feel like I was an actress and I was going to be okay. And because I moved to New York with no connections, like I was just beating the street auditioning. Um, and I think that made them know I was okay. And I think being on TV, there's this idea that like once you get on TV, you have a linear, projection for your career, and you
Sure.
really don't. You could be a series regular and then you're unemployed for 2 years. And so I think that sort of uncertainty always makes them a little fearful, but that's the gig.
So what keeps you motivated, especially now when we had COVID? That must have been a real, oh my God, what do I do?
Sure. Um, I think I'm pretty lucky that I have a life outside of acting. I really love, I just have a lot of different things that I do. Like October 6th, I always co-host every year Broadway Acts for Abortion. Like I am of service to causes I believe in. I have great friends. I work at a food pantry. Like I have a life that doesn't depend, I mean, it depends monetarily on this business, but my sense of self-worth, I have learned to uncouple it from the business. And I think that's been pretty instrumental.
So when you see young people who want to get, and you see them all the time, and
Yeah.
they come out of a high school, they probably were the leading lady in every show there was. They get to someplace like New York or California, and they don't get a tumble. What kind of advice do you give those people? Is it just
Well,
hang, it'll happen, or maybe you just don't have what it takes, or what?
well, I guess it depends. I mean, if I saw them in a show and they were really bad, I might be like,
Pack it in.
let's consider a career in, I don't know,
Have you considered fashion merchandising?
have you considered retail? Um, I think that, yeah, you just keep plugging away. I mean, some of my favorite advice I've ever gotten. Do you know Mary Louise Burke? She's a character
Yes, yes,
actress.
yes.
One of my dearest friends. We did Fish in the Dark together on Broadway. And one time I was like, what's your advice, for like when the times get lean and it's tough? And she was like, well, my advice would be on a rainy day, go to a matinee at the movie theater. And then when everybody leaves, you score 5 or 6 umbrellas for free. They won't come back to get them. And then you got free umbrellas. And I was like, that was not the advice I was looking for,
That
but
works.
brilliant.
It answers all the questions we need. Now I'm back to my dear Linda because I think she's so wonderful. Was
Yeah.
she named for the actress? Do you know
Linda,
you know who Linda Harrison is, don't you? She was in Planet of the Apes movies, and she was married to Richard Zanuck for a long time. And I just wonder if they borrowed the name because of that.
I surely don't know, but what a good question.
So, all right, it's on you to find out the answer on that one because,
Oh, I'm going to get to it.
yes, because it might be a studio thing. They're trying to get in good with 20th and just see what happens. But that's
Yeah.
what I think she has legs. I think she has one of the career, we're having her forever. She's going to be in there. It's going to be great. What are you working on now then? I assume this is a one shot. We don't see you again at the end of the year, do we?
Yeah, we don't. But I wish I would love to come back. Right now I'm shooting a limited series for Netflix called Sirens. It's based on a play by Molly Metzler. I don't know if you know her. She did LMNOP and Close Up and all these great plays. And it stars Julianne Moore and Kevin Bacon and Megan Fahey and Millie Alcock. And it's really cool.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
did Claus change you?
Yeah. It really did.
I see the nails are done. So it's like I'll never be able to not do the nails, right?
I know now my hands, I look at them if I don't have nails on and I'm like, you gross little nubbins.
It's not good.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but did you enjoy that series?
I had the best time. We are still on a text thread to this day called Because We Love Each Other. We are in contact every day. Like the people on the West Coast like wake up and they're like, I should not have 32 messages in my inbox. Um, it was the best experience. It was the best. Like it really was a family. And we love New Orleans so much. Um, and the freedom also, the writers were so collaborative and they really built these amazing characters. And also I had really terrible eating disorders and I had gone to eating disorder rehab. It was bad before and I gained like 70 pounds in rehab. And I really thought I wasn't going to get to be an actress anymore. I was like, this is going to be like a bartender, like an alcoholic bartender. I can't do it and stay healthy. And I was like, I'm going to give myself a year. And if I can eat food and be on TV, then maybe I could still be an actress. And
Wow.
I booked Claws maybe like a month after I got out. And I remember being so scared. And I met with Nikki Cassell, the director, and the writer Elliot. And I made promises. I was like, I know this character is supposed to be kind of like rail thin and scrappy. And I was like, I can lose weight. I was just making promises that I shouldn't have made. And Elliot Lawrence looked right at me and he said, oh, honey, this is more of a muffin top type show. And so then I got to just be a person
I
and
love it.
do the craft. And it really, I think it like healed me.
Then it worked. It was a
Yeah.
good thing, right?
Yeah. It was
Is
so
that
great.
is that still a concern, or do you say I am the size I am and that's what I'm going to be? Or
Yeah. I mean, I've been in recovery for like almost 8 years now. And I really am. I'm the size I'm going to be. My weight fluctuates, it goes up and down depending on my hormones, my stress, like whatever. And I truly do not give anymore. Like, I'm a character actress. I'm not trying to be the romantic lead, like I don't care in a very real way. And I think it's made me a better actress.
if I have a bad day, I have chips. And if I have a really bad day, I get dip too. So it is one of those things that, you need to kind of serve the master at the moment. Yes, I know I will regret it at some point, but for the moment, it does its trick and it's there for me.
That's the whole thing. Like, I just don't, I used to have such a guilt, shame, punishment relationship with food. And I know so many women and so many people that do. And that cultural obsession with thinness is so much more about obedience than it is about anything else. And like, I just refuse to obey anymore.
Right.
That frees us.
And look at how the doors opened.
I know, right?
So I'm not putting it out there, but I'm putting it out there. And I've got to say, who is the person in charge of nominating you for Best Guest Actress in a series? Because it so has to happen. And if I need to start calling people and doing it, I will be there.
I
Jamie
don't
Lee
know who's in
can't
charge.
win because it's too dramatic this last year. And they're looking for somebody who brings the laughs, and there you are.
I know, I sure would love it. I was just doing Elsbeth with Carrie Preston from Claus, who got a guest star Emmy for
One,
being
yes.
Elsbeth. And she's such an inspiration to me too. Like what a blessed weirdo she is. I love her so much.
Could we even hope for a Linda series? It could be. It happened. We've got the
Oh my,
ground.
we put it out into the environment.
Let's do it. Because I'm there for you, and I will be the biggest cheerleader. But I do think that you have a real shot at,
Oh man,
at
that's
something.
great. Thank you
So
so
from my mouth to whatever, here we are.
thank
And
you so
thank
much.
you so much. This has been just wonderful. And you asked them, I'm your biggest fan. And it's because you tapped into a feeling in our country that you get a chance to see what that person is like behind all of that bluster. And
Yeah,
um, and I have never had a double Sprite, but I hope it's good.
it's so good.
It's
You're
good.
so good, Bruce.
All right, I will try it. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, honey. Thank you.